this morning just about how you basically pushed pause on him for the last game and then pushed pause on him for the workout. You talked about that being a difficult conversation with Chris. How was that conversation with Jay? Is he just as adamant about wanting to get back out there?
Yeah. I mean, all the guys want to play, but when I get a report about where they are and then, guys are more apt to talk to the coaches. So coaches they don't tell me everything because I don't need to know everything and I don't want to violate those relationships, but most players are more apt to talk to the assistants than they will to me. So I can read between the lines. I've been there. I know what it's like to want to play, but you feel something that, you may need a day or two or a game or two to get where you need to be. So I try to help guys out. I know what that's like.
Coach Jay was telling us about Cam, that he was able to get some work in. It looked like he was walking around a little bit more without the noticeable wind.
Yeah, he's progressing, but hadn't done much on the floor.
With this Bulls team, you just played them, I guess, a month or so ago. What kind of stands out from that meeting that you can talk to?
I mean, they have two guys that, take a lot of your attention, but, you're adding Caruso to the mix and Jones Jr., who bring a ton of energy. They defend, they're tough. They try to get extra possessions. They can finish, so that's a different parts of the equation. So they're just a good team. I mean, Vucevic is an, all-star center, and Sumo is, I'm sure he's outplayed everybody's expectations this year. So they're just a really good team. I mean, they have depth, they have length, and then they have two guys that can score in bunches, so we understand how good they are. We had to play a really good game there in Chicago. Just the toughness of that team forces you to do different things. They were taking away our pick and roll initially, and we had to really play on the backside. And that required us to really swing the ball and be disciplined with that because they pressure you in your pick and rolls. And then Thompson, Tristan is another weapon for them that can get them extra possessions. And his pick and roll defense is pretty underrated. He's always been one of the better pick and roll coverage bigs in the league.
Monty Williams was talking about how when he faces up in gaps a bit, that makes him feel like he's kind of back in college again. We've seen him starting to get more comfortable again with like that triple threat, kind of drive to the basket if he has the space part of his game.
I would imagine. I mean, I've seen it. I'm not quite sure. I think anytime DA catches the ball and he's aggressive and violent with that movement, whether it's a back down, left shoulder, jump hook type thing, or that jab, I think any explosive move he can make, the better for us. We're trying to figure out ways to get him in situations where he can, duck in, or his pick and pop to 15, or that he's been pretty efficient with the floater, which is another area where he can dive and be explosive. So I can't speak to what it was like for him in college, but I know it's been effective for him lately.
Can you perhaps speak to just when you going back to when you first got here, just like you probably saw him doing that floater already a couple of years ago, we're starting to see it more and more, just the parts of his game when you saw that if he's able to develop for a couple of years, he can really be a complete offensive player. You
hope. I mean, we're looking for me, it's like adding to who we are so we don't become, Chris and Book dimensional when it counts. I think having Mikal and Cam and Jay and DA as options, especially in big moments, really helps us. So anytime a guy like DA can, play in that environment, but especially down the stretch when teams start to take Chris and Book away, I think that helps us. And then, having Landry, it's another guy that can come in and do that. But to your point, I think it's important for us to continue to grow that world of DA in those spots, whether it's a face up, post up, or where he's diving in the short roll.
So just to follow that up, when you look at like in the line or Johnson there, it was started at the end of the paint and then they expanded out in terms of their shot. Like their bases was inside and then they went 15 foot beyond. So DeAndre sees himself as a traditional big. Is that something that the jump hook can establish for him? Okay, with this right here, you can do pretty much whatever you want off of having the foundation.
Maybe. I mean, I think most bigs, when you're playing with your back to the basket, it's where they're used to playing. And then once they start to read what kind of defenses they're playing against, I think a lot of guys want to step away so they can read the defense better. At least the guys that I've played with, like Tim and Patrick, you know, sometimes they'd step away from the block so they could see better. I know Tim never liked anybody to cut behind him because he didn't like the defense coming back to steal the ball, which spoke to vision. You know, so I think most bigs, not most, I mean, maybe some, when they start that way, they tend to move out just so they can have better vision. They're always looking at the nail help. You know, that guy that's digging, as we say in the league. I think they tend to want to see where that guy is. And so they tend to want guys to cut in front. So sometimes if you step away like 3 or 4 feet, now you can see like the whole gym. Sometimes when you're on the block, it's hard to see everything.
You were busy with your game day rituals, but were you able to catch any of those games?
I saw a little bit before I left. And then I got a text on my phone. Somebody told me that they won. That is pretty cool. I mean, Coach Bray he's just changed our program. You know, I hope he's there for another 20 years. I doubt it. One of these rogue schools will probably try to pick him off here soon, but it's a big win for us because, you know, it's hard for us to get those kinds of players that are of the elite level to come to Notre Dame just because of other stuff. And so when we do make it, you know, 1 or 2 rounds, man, it's like a championship, you know. So for him to do it on a year where this is not one of the years where we've been really, really good either. So for him to be able to get a win like that is huge for us. So I was happy to get that text. All right. Thank you.
Recording stop.